Welcome to Hillbilly Habitat Podcast. I'm V-Dub.
I'm Andy Doug.
And today's episode is...
The moon landing.
Did it happen?
Is it fake?
Is it real?
What do you think?
1, 0, all engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower clear.
Here we got a roll program.
Neil Armstrong reporting the roll and pitch program, which puts Apollo 11 on a proper heading.
Roll complete and a pitches program.
Let's dive right in. Where are you wanting to cover more of the fake stuff or the real stuff first? What's your pick of poison?
Well, we'll just talk about the supposed real moon landing, give some factual, or what we think might be factual, what, say, the internet would say about the moon landing.
With some fact-checking.
Yeah, with some fact-checking, and then we can go through what-ifs. So, on July 20th, 1969, at 1:47 p.m.
That was a good year.
Yeah, a good year. I wasn't born.
Me either. Those were the days.
Yeah. But July the 20th, 1969, at 1:47 p.m. was the supposed exact time that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin stepped on the moon surface.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Or did they?
Or did they? Neil Armstrong was the mission commander, and he was 38 years old when he walked on the moon. Buzz Aldrin was the lunar module pilot, and Michael Collins, which you'll hear in, a little bit, that I think he got the short straw if they actually went to the moon. Michael Collins was the command module pilot, and he actually stayed in the command ship while the other two went down and played in the moon sand. So I think he got the short end of the straw, but there might be a reason for it.
Well, in my opinion, I think also his name is a lot lesser known, so
yeah.
he did get the short end of the stick.
Yeah. I mean,
he's not one of the big two.
They've blown up Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, but, he was right there with them, keeping their escape vessel intact and close to them, and he's the hero in my mind.
Yeah,
keeping the mothership going.
Yeah.
So, we had several Apollo missions go, but from what I have found out, Apollo 17 was the last mission, and the reason for it is it's a $4.5 billion.
Billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions.
What some say is a death trap, because it's really hard to conduct a moon landing because there are so many craters and pits and different things on the moon that makes it ultimately seriously dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Well, me personally, I wouldn't be the first to sign up either.
No.
Who wants to go to the moon? I think I'm going to have to pass.
Yeah,
I don't think I want to.
I wouldn't do that. I mean, there's a lot of bucket list things I would want to do in my life before I die, but that's not one of them.
Yeah.
I can watch that on TV, and
Right.
supposedly they did back in 1969. So,
to get into the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, let's talk about some of the fakey. Let's talk about some of the fakeness.
Yeah.
That a lot of people, think conspiracy theories pop up. There's all sorts of different ones. There's not even just one, concrete one that like everybody fluctuates to. There's multiple different ones,
Right.
different avenues. One of the big things that, kind of stuck out to me was that this was more of a political stunt than a scientific approach.
well, from what I understand, JFK stated that he was going to have the United States on the moon within a decade.
Yes.
Within 10 years.
Yes.
So it was coming up on that 10 years, as far as I'm reading correctly. And he wanted to make sure that his goal of that 10 years were met. And he was able to actually brag, for lack of a better term, that he had got it before the 10-year mark.
We shall send to the moon, 240,000 miles away, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall on an untried mission to an unknown celestial body, and then return it safely to Earth. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
Right. And I mean, we were in a big, huge space race with Russia, so America wanted to flex the freedom muscles that,
Eagle will fly, and it's gonna be hell when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell, and they'll feel
that capitalism is better than communism. So America flexing their muscles and showing the Russians up of, hey, we made it to the moon before you did. So, and the Cold War was going on too, so that was a big.
When supposedly the United States is the only one that's ever put a man on the moon out of all the countries in the world.
Yeah.
Now, they've sent probes to put their flags and different things on the moon, but the United States, I think it said that we have 6 flags on the moon right now.
Like the amusement park?
Like 6 flags over Georgia or whatever? Yeah. No, 6 flags over the moon.
Yeah.
So we have 6 flags on the moon right now for each mission that actually made it to the moon. So,
well, North Korea is so successful with their missiles. I'm surprised they've not sent a rocket ship.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's another segment for another day.
Yeah. But yeah, the Cold War and Russia and America just being bumping heads.
Oh yeah.
And then the space race was even more reason for trying to just be the ultimate country, because you had these 2 powerhouse countries that were really trying to show out and show who's the better country, So that was definitely a big. That's something that backs up more so of the was it filmed somewhere on a secret set type deal, because we had a race to win.
Well, I watched a video over the last few days of really diving into this, researching for this podcast episode. And I was watching it wasn't the moonwalk, but it was a part of the spaceship where the astronaut had to go outside of the spaceship on an umbilical cord oxygen tube. And it was unlike any gravitational float that I have ever seen, because this astronaut was actually holding up the umbilical cord oxygen tube that he was breathing with, and it almost looked like there were you've seen in these movies now, like on Wicked, just come out not long ago, to fly they've got these cables hooked to them and they can do flips in the air. It almost resembled that. It was nothing but black in the background, so you couldn't see those cables, but he was actually holding this cord up, and I would believe that if it was true gravitational, that the cord would float, would it not? I mean, he wouldn't have to hold anything up. It looked like it was actually dropping as well, as he was supposedly floating in the air. So it was really weird just to watch that, because it was very mechanical. Right. It was very sharp, edges and different stuff that were very that led to a hint of deception.
Right. Well, and one of the big things that stuck out was a few years after the initial moon landing, in '69, there was a former U.S. Navy officer So he was an Apollo rocket technical writer, and he released a book. This was just like 3-4 years afterwards that says, "We never went to the moon." His name is Bill Kaysing.
I think it was an intuitive feeling that what was being shown was not real.
He supposedly had all this like evidence and everything to back up that, and he was even a part of the Apollo team and said that here's all these reasons in this entire book of why we physically could not make it to the moon.
And didn't you see a video where they were wanting Buzz to swear on a Bible or something that what was that about?
Yeah, so there was an individual, I'm not sure who he was with. I'll be sure to put the video on the screen, but
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
I'm not trying to get in the middle of anything.
You tell him to get out of here.
This is a hotel.
We'll call the police.
We pay.
Come on in here, we'll call the police.
Solicit on
You like that?
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
It doesn't, sir, I don't have nothing to do with this, but you cannot solicit on this property.
We just paid to rent out the penthouse to shoot up there. So
you can't solicit like this on this property.
Keep shooting.
All right, well then I'd go through my measures.
You got to keep shooting, man. Okay, well you can put it on your shoulder. Don't be shy.
Just come with me, Buzz.
You really like attention, don't you?
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black, if I ever thought of it. Saying I misrepresented myself.
Away from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
yeah, this individual comes up, and there's lots of course, controversy that comes with the moon landing, and this individual is wanting him to swear on a Bible, put his hand on the Bible, and swear under oath that he did truly walk on the moon.
Right.
And he wouldn't do it. So he wouldn't do it, but then this individual started provoking him, started calling him names and stuff like that, so Buzz then decides to give him a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah.
But, of course, that was only after all the name-calling that went with it, but so to speak, whenever he first approached him, he wouldn't do it.
So what you're saying is Buzz made this guy see stars.
Ha
Okay, now we'll just do yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Right,
Yeah.
He seemed to be very much so in shock.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that book, whenever it first came out, was actually the foundation for the widely known conspiracy theory too. So this individual really set the foundation for disbelief for traveling to the moon. And I mean, there's numerous of the flag's waving, in the wind. There's not supposedly wind in space, but there's things to back that up as what the material it was made out of, and then even you can't see stars, in the background through the camera.
Right.
I mean, this was 1969. The camera quality is not that good, but supposedly it's based on the lighting, and there's so much light that's reflecting off the moon that the camera couldn't pick up the stars. So to speak.
Well, it also said that the any telescopic equipment that we have here on Earth is not able to actually see the American flags on the moon. That only the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter satellite, telescope, whatever it is, instrumentation can see this flag. So have I just not, are they not showing us? Have I not went to the right place to see this? Are they showing us the real thing? But to go back to 1969, I mean, I saw on the movie with Tom Hanks in Apollo 13 that they had some kind of wired camera inside the command module. So did they have that in 1969? Is that something that they could have pulled out of the command module, or did they have one in the lunar module where they landed on the moon to show? How did they record this? Would it have had audio? I don't think it did, because I think he was doing whatever he said over his radio, so it would not have had audio.
Right.
So everything that he said on that camera, I just answered my own question. I do that a lot. I'm getting older. But would something like that be able to transmit live to Earth to where they could watch it live? And that's the big question.
Yeah, and something that I've thought of personally is like Starlink, for example. Big, huge. That's the new rage. You've got these satellites that are orbiting the Earth, and, you can get internet in all these very remote places.
Right.
However, there's still issues. It's still sporadic. You might not have a good signal and still not actually have that internet access. So how was that technology back in 1969 able to live stream, so to speak? I mean, I know live stream means a lot more today than it did, then. But how are they to live stream from the moon back to Earth with how far back they were with technology like that?
Well, and speaking of how far back they were, they were quite a ways with said camera from the lunar module that landed on the moon. They were quite a few yards back from the astronauts, from what I have seen in the video.
Yeah.
There is one astronaut, I guess Buzz. Was it Buzz or Neil that put the flag out? I believe it's Neil, correct, that did the saying of one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Well, Buzz Aldrin put in the flag placement device into the moon surface, whether it was drilled, hammered, however it was, just stuck in there, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Neil placed the flag on that device and then said what he said.
Yeah.
But, have they got corded video cameras that come out that long? I mean, just there's a lot of questions to that. And I know there's been a lot of controversy back and forth. Some say, yes, absolutely, we did. And we're not, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We're not saying that the moon landing did not occur.
Correct.
We are saying
that the footage that was used was that truly the footage of them actually walking on the moon.
Right.
Because they could have went to the moon. Because that's one of the conspiracy theories that comes not only just, we didn't go to the moon at all, but we did go to the moon, but what was televised was not actually video recording of them going to the moon.
So that's what we're possibly saying.
Yeah.
Not that if I continue to research, if we continue to research and we find that, yes, this definitely was filmed on the moon surface, we'll come back and say we were wrong. I mean, we have no problem in saying we're wrong, do we?
No. We're both married.
Yeah. I mean, wives tell us we're wrong all the time.
Yeah,
while still loving us. So
right.
It's just it's a great combination. But, we truly just want to say, what if this was, in a studio?
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy. Team A is at the moon, putting, a flag in the moon surface, while Team B, which they always have standby teams on these things to train just in case they get sick or something like that. Team B's at the studio doing exactly what's, coming across. And of course, Neil Armstrong could always say when he's putting that in through his mic, the words that he said, the saying that he said, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And, it went down in history. So, I mean, it's a big part of our American history.
Yeah, and one of the big things that debunks the conspiracy theory of we just didn't go to the moon, period, was you've got hundreds of thousands of NASA employees that, contributed to this, and they're like, somebody would have leaked something, that there's no way that all these people would have kept quiet. So I'm not saying that we never went to the moon at all, but like you said, you can keep a lot smaller group of, filming said situation, and, then you have a lot less chance of that leaking.
Right. Well, it's also a big question of, China, Russia, all these bigger or as big countries, at least in population and revenue and things like that. You would think China would have already sent somebody. Now, it wouldn't, it would have, of course, been since 1969 or the last Apollo mission, Apollo 17. But would you not think that China would want to have their name in the hat as well as having a human being on the moon surface?
Oh yeah, and China overall just has they take great pride in their country. Their academics, they strive for that. So I know just their overall IQ is on another level.
Right.
So I think they have what it takes, but why have they not done it? That's
Is it money? Is
Yeah.
it? Of course, they're one of the richest countries in the world as well as the United States of America.
I mean, with all the
so-
manufacturing.
Yeah, yeah.
With all your made in China stuff.
you can get Timu to make you a rocket ship to go to the moon. Can you not? I mean, that's
Probably for like about $65.
I was $59.99 at least with some throw in additives. You know, they'll give you a free necklace or something.
Yeah.
But I saw this thing the other day. It said Timu burnt down, and the total loss was like $59. So
Haha.
Okay, now we'll just do
I just thought it was funny.
nice.
Yeah, but now with Elon Musk here, and he's been surfacing over the years with buying Twitter and turning it into X and
then
different
SpaceX
things, SpaceX and all that stuff, and now he's able to have a rocket come back down and land itself. I think the second one actually occurred yesterday.
Oh, really?
That he was able. I think Donald Trump watched it come in and was just amazed. But what are the possibilities now? What are the possibilities of us sending one man to the moon in one rocket ship, all in I mean, what if?
Yeah.
What does the future hold now? Are we going to try to go back to the moon? Are we going to try to go to Mars? Are we going to try to go beyond? It said in the galaxy, the further you go, the faster you travel, the faster the galaxy is. Edges are going away from you, so you'll never actually reach the edge of the universe.
Yeah, and then even like the aging is different. Cause, I mean, I'm a huge fan of sci-fi movies, but
Right.
I mean, like Interstellar and stuff like that. He's gone and he's on one planet for like 15 minutes, and then in Earth's time, it's like 50 years have gone by. So I mean, it's
I read today that one day in space is 90 minutes.
really
There's actually people on in the space station now that they orbit the Earth every 90 minutes, and a day in space is 90 minutes, according to this article.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, please comment below. We'll listen.
Yeah, we like to be humbled.
Yes. Yes. So we don't know it all. Our way is a way, not the way. So we just like talking about stuff. We like learning. And if you comment and we learn from you, then more power to it. So comment below.
And as far as recording, like if they had a separate team recording, the thought is that it was in the Nevada desert because that's the most moon-like area that you can get. But it was thought to have been filmed in Area 51 that has restricted access to who obviously could be in there, just not in the middle of nowhere where anybody could just walk up on it. But it's another topic.
Well, there's no Area 51, is there?
Or is there?
I don't know. We'll have to visit that one another episode.
Yeah, because, I mean, we went to the moon. Are there aliens?
What the? Duck?
Wow!
I don't know.
There are other life forms.
Only God knows.
We'll have to dive into
The
that.
creator of the universe.
We'll have to dive in.
That's right.
We'll have to take a look.
So let us know what you think. We've done a lot of research. We'll continue to do our research because this is intriguing. It's something that we both really want to dive deep into. This is just scratching the surface right now, but
the moon surface.
Yeah, the moon surface.
Ha ha.
Okay, now we'll just do
but we just wanted to hash this over, talk it over, and say what if, just like we're going to do in every episode. What if? What if it happened? What if it didn't happen? How could they have got around that? So comment below, subscribe, share.
Yeah, be sure to give us some suggestions. It don't even have to be on anything space related. Just throw a comment, let us know, and we'll go over anything and everything that everybody wants us to
give us that big thumbs up. We need that.
Not a little one, a big one.
Right. And we're trying to branch out to possibly TikTok now. If it's going to stay in existence, we don't know, but we're looking into that, as well as Instagram and different platforms. So we appreciate your support, whatever that is. Pray for us as we dive deep into this endeavor and this interest of ours together. And for this episode, we're signing out. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time. I'm V-Dub.
I'm Andy Doug.
And we'll see you.
Y'all come back.